Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in the theme of Valentine's Day, I wanted to talk about love, but not about romantic love or friendship love. Now they call it even galantines. I'm not talking about love with anyone else. I'm talking about self-love. Now, I know that term may seem a little corny or a little cliche, but we need to talk about it because before you can love anyone, you need to love yourself. So in today's video, I want to give you 5 ways that you can practice more self-love. Tip number 1 is to stop the negative self-talk. Now, I know it's very easy for us to kind of talk about ourselves or to ourselves in a very negative way, and we may not even be conscious of it, right? It's maybe something that we mutter under our breath. Maybe we don't even verbalize it, but we look at ourselves in the mirror, or we get something wrong at work, or a relationship goes wrong, and we internalize it as like our fault, that we're not good enough, that this always happens to us. You get the idea. This negative self-talk is actually just very detrimental because we're all humans, right? We all have to struggle through things. And by you putting yourself down, that's actually not really going to help you move forward and achieve the things that you want to achieve. Think about it. Would you talk to your best friend who you see is struggling through something? Would you talk to them in that way that you would talk to yourself or think about yourself in that way? No, you would probably be as supportive as you could, knowing this person was struggling outwardly. So why not be that kind to yourself? And some people say, oh, well, I joke around with my friends and family that way. So, hey, that's you, do you? But then think about it if it helps as a child. Would you talk to a child who is struggling with something in a way that is not compassionate? No, right? So why do that to yourself? Because literally that hurt person that you're talking to yourself is actually your inner child. That's old wounds that you've never healed. And by you layering in the negative talk, that's just going to make the situation worse and actually perpetuate what you don't want to happen or what has been perpetually happening in your life. So let's practice not being so negative to ourselves and practice more compassion. And if it's hard for you, find ways to encourage yourself, to celebrate yourself, to acknowledge that you're maybe not where you want to be today, but you will make progress. You are making progress every day towards that. Maybe today you wanted to sleep in, even though you know that you want to work hard, but that's okay because you know that you needed to rest today and tomorrow you're going to get back on it. I'm not talking about making excuses for yourself, but I'm talking about celebrating and appreciating where you are at this moment in your progress and knowing that it is not the end all and be all, and that you will continue to do better and get better with time, and you will also put in the work to do that. My tip number 2, which you guys have heard me talk about before, is to spend time alone. A lot of people are really scared to spend time alone because they're basically afraid to be alone with their thoughts. And I don't understand that because I love spending time by myself. Don't get me wrong, I also love being around people and, well, good energy, good company, good vibes. But it's also so important to be able to spend time with yourself, to be able to tune into what you really want, what you're feeling in that moment. And more importantly, just to get to know yourself. Because if you're comfortable being by yourself and having a great time, taking yourself out on dates, whether it's like going hiking by yourself, do it safely, of course, but going for a walk or going out to lunch or to dinner or going out for drinks, when you're comfortable being by yourself, then you will never look for validation, or you will never latch onto someone out of need because you're afraid to be alone. It won't be like a codependent kind of relationship. It will be more because you genuinely would like to share the experience with someone, and you're already so comfortable with who you are that person is just a bonus, and that's just going to make you a more fun person to be around. So definitely enjoy that time. Take that time to do things that you like to do, right? That you don't have to worry about anyone else complaining about, or that you're curious about, that you've never done and that you want to try for the first time. You don't have to wait for anyone to try something new that you've always been wanting to do. So go out there, have fun by yourself. Hi everyone. So my camera died, so we're just going to have to try this with my iPhone. So we're just going to make it work. So my tip number 3 was to nurture your body and your thoughts. So we all think about nurturing our bodies, like eating good food and maybe working out, but also it's so important and equally important to nurture what you put into your mind. What kind of things are you reading? What kind of things are you watching? And have you ever seen like a scary movie and you were too scared, or maybe you're like me, too scared to go to the bathroom at night, or you realize like your heart was racing? That's because what we watch does, or what we consume, what we listen to, what we read, all of that does affect us in a way that's maybe not conscious. So it's so important to kind of feed your body with things that are going to inspire you, things that are going to make you feel good about yourself, things that are going to expand your mind. My tip number 4 is to give yourself permission to go after your wildest dreams and to take up space. Many times, and myself included, I was guilty of this, where for some reason I put people on a pedestal. For some reason I felt that another human, just another mere mortal as me, was somehow more valuable than me, maybe because they had more confidence about the way, that they went about things. But then I just realized, like, there's no difference between you or anyone else. Well, obviously you guys are different people, but there's no inherent value that is greater in one person over another. So really, you should be able to go after whatever you want to do, no matter how crazy it seems to other people. If that makes you happy, if that's something that you've always wanted to do, or that's who you are, then go for it. Most of the times, those great ideas that seem crazy always seem crazy at first until they're actually done. So who knows, you might be a trailblazer. And even if not, that's not even the point. The point is that to make yourself happy. All of that is going to also make you feel more empowered, and that's ultimately going to lead to more self-love, because you're gonna love yourself because you're doing things that align with who you really are. That's definitely something that I recommend. I see too many people living lives where they're basically just either going through the motions or doing what others expect of them, or they're just like scared. They're scared to take that leap. But honestly, life is either really, to quote Paulo Coelho, one of my favorite authors, he says, life is either too long or too short to be living it this badly. So you really have to just kind of go for it, because you only have one shot at this that we know of. So my final tip is to let go of people that bring you down. And, I know it's easy to say, but sometimes it's harder to do, especially when you feel like if you end up letting go of some people, you're going to be alone. But notice that if someone doesn't respect you, doesn't value you, doesn't support you, doesn't encourage you, that's only going to make you feel more insecure and even hate yourself more, or feel like there's something wrong with you. And from that place, you can't even love that person, let alone anyone else. You have to really be able to surround yourself with people who are going to value you and love you for who you are, and that will inspire you. Maybe it's not even that they are necessarily bringing you down, but maybe they're just like stuck in their own lives, stagnant, and don't want to move forward in their lives. Maybe they just love to complain all the time. Even if it seems like it's not really affecting you, that also will kind of weigh on you as well. So definitely be mindful of who you surround yourself with. So those are my 5 tips to practice more self-love this year. And yeah, I hope that you love yourself and cherish yourself and realize that you are all amazing people that are so capable of so much if you just allow yourself to believe in yourself. And I think that we are struggling in our society with just so much violence, so much hate, so much insecurities, and all of that stems from, I think, the fact that we struggle to love ourselves. And if we can learn to do that better, I think that it'll also allow us to have more compassion with other people. And a lot of people think that, oh, well, some people love themselves too much. But actually, I mean, research has shown that, those people who are narcissistic, for instance, that's a very extreme case. But even though we like to use that word loosely these days, but even someone who's diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, for instance, that's because they actually hate themselves or they struggle with self-love. And that is actually because of some kind of traumas, usually in their life growing up. Maybe they didn't get that kind of love that they actually needed. So realize that ultimately how you show up to the world comes from in here and in here. So you have to really love yourself in order to be able to love others better, and also to show people how you want to be loved. So I hope this helps some of you guys out there, and just wishing everyone more love all around this year and always. Talk to you soon.